Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone. Welcome back, everyone. Today we've got front row access to the Meltdown Festival that is woke culture in action. Watch as self-proclaimed experts, virtue signalers, and protest warriors run headfirst into facts they can't handle. First up, watch this protest that proves the signs are louder than the brains behind them.
If you could eliminate one thing from the world, what would you eliminate?
Narcissists?
Toxic feminism.
We the top 10, UGK the major, when I play it, don't stop here. Traffic lights, we going, know the time.
The old man out there shouting against Charlie Kirk, but has no clue who Charlie Kirk even is. You can almost hear the gears grinding while he tries to remember the homework he never did. It's the kind of protest where confusion shows up early and logic never arrives. And this is what happens when common sense meets a generation raised on feelings over facts.
I'm a conservative dad. Of course I'm raising lions, not sheep. I'm a conservative dad. Of course I teach my kids how to think, not what to think. I'm a conservative dad. Of course I teach my kids to respect their elders, women, and especially their mother. I'm a conservative dad. Of course I teach my kids how to have thick skin, defend themselves, and take pride in their work, no matter how small the task. I'm a conservative dad. Of course I teach my kids to lead by example, especially when it's unpopular. I'm a conservative dad. Of course I teach my kids that results come with consistency over time. I'm a conservative dad. Of course I talk to my boys like men, not children. Oh yeah, and we don't allow doom scrolling at dinner. And maybe most important of all, truth is compassion.
The dad says he's raising lions, not sheep, and somewhere a gender studies major just filed a complaint. While the woke world is out here teaching kids their truth changes hourly, this guy's out teaching them to think, work, and respect. Imagine that parenting without hashtags or victim points. Now we have a father who proved that progress apparently means the government gets to parent your kids.
Well aware of the BC father whose daughter, when she was in grade 7, was shown a video by her teachers featuring a transgender character, and she started thinking, I also want to cut my hair short. I also want to identify as a boy, just like the character in that video. The teachers entertained this. They allowed her to change her name. They allowed her to change her pronouns. They suggested she go get some counseling, and the counselor suggested she go talk to a doctor. The doctor suggested she starts transitioning. All of this happened unbeknownst to this father. So obviously he's royally upset. The courts ended up saying he's not allowed to misgender his daughter. He's not allowed to use the incorrect pronouns. He can't use her so-called dead name. And he's not allowed to talk to the press about any of this. A so-called gag order was placed on this. Now, obviously, with this being insanely tyrannical, he didn't do any of these things, ended up spending 69 days in jail for that. And he was also facing a fine of upwards of $30,000. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, the judge just decided that he has won his case. He won his appeal.
His crime, calling out the gender zealots who think biology can be legislated away with hashtags and therapy forms. While activists celebrated compassion, they locked up a dad for refusing to pretend.
All right, guys, we're here with the man who's not supposed to be named after a huge victory. All right, this has been almost 5 years in the making, all culminating into this final day, this final decision. Tell us, what did the judge determine today? Because this sounds like some huge breaking good news.
You know, after a whole lot of spectacular disaster losses over the last 5 years, we got a huge win. We end on a huge win. You know, everything I could have, hoped for today, we got from the BC Court of Appeal here. And, time served. So the 6-month sentence, what's left of it, I'm exonerated from at this point. The $30,000 fine removed. I'm walking out of here with a to end, what I would call this long saga with a huge win. And I hope parents and, this is important for everybody here because, I think the tide is changing. I've said it. I didn't know how it was going to reflect in what was going to happen today. And I can't say with certainty that was what it was. But, I hope this gives everybody some courage and some hope, right? And definitely encouragement because this is, this is huge. I mean, compared to where things were, who would have guessed the political climate?
But the best part, after years of state-sponsored moral grandstanding, the truth finally cracks through their script.
Breaking gag orders and publication bans and getting the word out because I think most people didn't even believe that things were this crazy. It was honestly people, they needed to know the truth and I was sitting on it and I was told I couldn't tell anybody and And to me, that was unacceptable at the time. And, I paid a price. I mean, I did. As I said, 69 days in jail and I guess if he's had today, I guess you can say 70.
What was that like in the battle? Because you just won in such a huge victory when they had their side stacked.
Yeah, there were times, where I was up against, before this became a criminal case, which literally pitted me up directly against the Attorney General and the government. I mean, there was 50 lawyers involved on the other side at times. It was insane. I took on everybody that literally had a hand in what happened to my child. Literally everybody that played a role. And that brought 50, and these aren't just your regular lawyers. I mean, a lot of them were specific trans activist lawyers. I mean, the whole mob. I took on the whole mob with, just a couple guys.
Turns out you can jail a man, but you can't jail reality, and watching woke logic collapse under the weight of common sense never gets old. Next up, Candace Owens walks into a college debate and leaves with another flawless victory for common sense.
I will educate myself on the trans Native Americans that were running around America. We know that Native Americans were incredibly spiritual. There's no question about that.
Which spiritual? You believe in God?
I do believe in God, yes.
So
that doesn't make me believe in trans people. That doesn't make me believe that you can switch your parts. I don't believe they were performing surgeries. And you can let me know the wrong body.
There were people that felt that they didn't belong in the binary genders that we have.
Okay, so you're talking about somebody in the history of Native American history had a feeling that they were, and now you're saying that they're trans.
I'm just saying, I don't think you're really addressing what I'm asking. I'm saying that
I think I've addressed it like 20 times. And you're just not wanting to hear it because you want to believe that there were trans Native Americans that were chopping off their genitals. They weren't. This is very common when people take drugs, which the Native Americans did. But again, they weren't chopping their off. So no, this is a different thing that we're dealing with here. Next question.
A student tries to lecture her on trans Native Americans, but the argument collapses faster than a hashtag trend. Candace keeps her cool while the student confuses spirituality with surgery. The crowd laughs, the logic lands, and once again, feelings take the punch while facts walk away untouched. Now check this out. We've got a woke feminist who thought she had biology figured out.
If a man can impregnate multiple women a day, why would women consider themselves the creators of life?
I guess because in the end, they're the only ones who can bring about life.
Well, a man can repopulate an island full of women. Can a woman repopulate an island full of men?
No.
So don't men create more life?
They do.
The girl strolls in with a smile, ready to school everyone on how women are the creators of life. Then comes the curveball question, and suddenly her so-called logic evaporates. One tiny word, no, and her confident reasoning collapses, leaving her awkward grin. This time, again, a woke girl thinking she's the authority on biology while holding a microphone.
I'm here studying biology, and so we've learned a lot about genetic mutations and disorders and such, and there actually are hermaphrodite human beings where they have both ovaries and testicles. It's actually a medical condition called ovotesticular disorder, and while it may seem rare, there are hundreds of thousands of people born with this each year. I'm just wondering how that would play into your view of there being a spectrum of gender, because
these are people who can get pregnant and also impregnate someone else?
Yes. Hermaphrodites, they have both ovaries and testicles.
That actually has nothing to do with transgenderism, because when when we talk about transgender, we're talking specifically about people, then we would just say intersex. But with transgender, most of the time, we're talking about men who, they don't have any deformity. They are just straight up men, clearly, and they are identifying as a woman. So even if I agreed that what you're talking about is some sort of exception, that actually would have nothing to do with the transgender topic.
She starts rattling off facts about hermaphrodites and genetic mutations, acting like she just solved the mystery of gender. Then, one simple clarification hits, and suddenly her whole expertise collapses. She flails, trying to make exceptions sound like rules, while her logic evaporates right in front of the audience. Here's a moment where woke policies get called out and can't wiggle free.
Whose 15-year-old daughter was in a bathroom by a boy wearing girls' clothes, and the Loudoun County School Board covered it up because it would have interfered with their transgendered policy during Pride Month. And that man, Scott Smith, because he went to a school board and tried to defend his daughter's rights, was condemned internationally. Do you apologize to Scott Smith and his 15-year-old daughter, Judge?
anyone whose child was raped is the most horrific crime I can imagine, and is certainly entitled and protected by the First Amendment to protest to their school board about that.
But he was cited by the School Board Association
That's fine,
as a
but that's
domestic
not-
terrorist, which we now know that letter and those reports were the basis for your.
No, Senator,
this is
that's wrong.
Shame, Judge. It's shameful. This testimony, your directive, your performance is shameful.
That's not.
Thank God you are not on the Supreme Court. You should resign in disgrace, Judge.
Senator Tom Cotton asks Garland a straight question. The most horrific crime. He answers, yeah, no kidding, genius. Maybe try doing something about it instead of reading off a sympathy cue card. Cotton keeps pressing, and Garland's face says it all. He knows he's cornered, and it is like watching a bureaucrat realize that buzzwords collapse the second real accountability shows up. Bill Maher and Piers Morgan team up and absolutely barbecue Katie Porter for calling Riley Gaines a clout chaser.
Who I disagree with strongly should be.
What do you disagree with, out of interest?
I think that it should be up to sporting bodies to make the decisions about who and
What
how
has she
should
said
compete.
that's actually wrong?
I think that what she has done is try to turn this. We talked about people, using things to kind of get likes and get clicks.
That's not what she's doing.
It's not?
I've got no truck for Riley Gaines personally, but all I've seen her do is stand up for women's rights to fairness and equality.
But she
actually competed against Leah Thomas, and it was obviously unfair. Leah Thomas won one of the races in the NCAA championships by 50 seconds against a bunch of biological females who simply couldn't keep up. That cannot be right. It cannot be fair.
That is something that I think our sporting bodies should be dealing with. And by the way, Riley is speaking up for herself, and that is her prerogative, and I respect her free speech.
I think she's speaking up for pretty much every female athlete in the world.
I mean, wasn't that the point of Title IX? Title IX in the early 70s was something that was it was a major event in feminism, that we finally have this law that says at colleges, right, and I think high schools too, but definitely colleges, women's sports have to be given equal to men's sports, so that women aren't and this led to the WNBA and lots of other stuff. This seems to be the opposite of that. It seems to be so many instances, I think, where wokeness is the opposite of what I grew up as liberalism. Liberalism was, let's give the women an equal shot. This is, let's put a male in the swimming pool with the women. I don't get it.
It's crazy. And meanwhile, trans people who genuinely want to compete at athletics and swimming or whatever it may be, they're the ones who are suffering here. They need to be found a way to compete fairly and justly.
Well, what's your answer then?
I think there's one or two answers. I think they either compete against their biological sex, as many of them did before, or you create an entirely new category for a transgender athlete. And then they're able to compete fairly. But what you cannot do is continue to allow more and more trans athletes to start decimating women's records. In some cases...
Imagine accusing a woman who literally competed against a male body of clout chasing. That's how unserious this entire ideology has become. The moment someone points out reality, they call it hate. They're not defending women, they're defending a fantasy at women's expense. Alex Stein confronts a mom who transitioned her kid and tells her straight up, you didn't raise a son, you raised a medical experiment.
You like trans kids?
I raised one.
You raised a trans kid?
I raised a child who decided to follow their true heart and be who they are.
Their true heart? But what about their other organs, like their genitals? They don't want to go by their true genitals?
This is my son.
That's your son? So what time, when did you start your transition?
I want to say when I was really little, because I knew very young I was a boy.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, you'll never be a boy. That's just...
Look, you'll never be a man.
I am a man. I am a man.
No, all of people who are trans, but also people who are autistic.
Yeah, and we shouldn't let autistic people transition their sex because they're autistic. They're retarded. And a retarded person cannot pick their gender.
2025, and this man uses the R word?
Yeah. Think about it. You had a beautiful daughter, and you ruined your beautiful daughter.
What?
She could have been in a marriage, could have had kids, could have made you a beautiful grandmother, and none of that's going to happen. And instead, you laugh about cutting off your child's breast.
This is the dark side of this movement nobody wants to talk about. Adults using their own children as social experiments. A kid doesn't even know algebra yet, and we're letting them permanently alter their bodies. That's not progress. That's guided self-harm endorsed by parents. An old man tells a conservative, shame on you, but then rambles like a malfunctioning radio because he can't answer a single basic question.
Shame on me.
Shame on you. I'd love to take the microphone. I'd love to have a chat to you. So tell me about your stance while you're wearing a billboard.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Children cannot consent to puberty blockers.
And how about the damage caused by children's identity, caused by delaying these life-saving medicines?
Life-saving
medicines, identity.
Interesting.
You're obviously comfortable as a cis white male. You obviously comfortable in your own skin?
No, I'm just a man.
Also, you're not recognising accepted gender and identity terms.
I'm not part of the cult of gender, no.
You're being pedantic about recognised terms that people use to define themselves.
Only the people who are in the cult recognize these terms.
You also need a breath mint. You're going to be speaking to people on the street, you need a breath mint.
Oh, okay.
That's halitosis is a term. So is cis white male, also a term.
Good stuff. So tell me, why do you want to sterilize kids?
I didn't say that, and you're never going to be able to put words in my mouth.
Oh, but you support this.
Camera's right here.
But you support this.
Camera's right here.
You support giving kids puberty blockers.
They're not the same thing. It's a false equivalency. It's a false equivalency, you know that. So what attention are you getting today? What attention are you getting?
Well, quite a bit from these guys, unfortunately.
Who's these guys?
The police, the council.
Well, it's in there. It's in their interest to make sure isn't damaging to society.
Oh, okay.
Because when you don't represent Australian values...
So again, tell me, why do you think it's okay we sterilize kids?
Once again, you can try and put words in my mouth.
Well, that's what's happening. That's what these do.
You try and put words in my mouth.
Tell me, what age do they start giving kids puberty blockers? What's the technical term for it?
See, once again, you're not going to trick me because you're not
you're not
a narrator.
Do you know?
You're not a very logical man.
Do you know?
You're a man with a tirade.
What's Tanner stage 2?
See, I've had a vasectomy done.
Oh, that's great.
And I chose to make an informed choice about that.
I'm really glad you did that, actually.
So I've sterilised myself.
That's good for society.
Of course it is.
Yeah,
and
in your case.
And a lot of cases of sort of, I don't know, false minorities. People who think they're a minority where they've had the fat of the land for generations.
Oh.
That having this regressive sort of desire to have large families to try and sort of increase the white heteronormative sort of section of society, try to outpopulate.
Did you study gender studies in university?
No, it wasn't an option for me.
Interesting.
Anywho, this is going nowhere. But
so tell me.
I'll leave it to time. Make it good.
You talked about regressive things there for a second. I would say it's pretty regressive that we're telling children who don't conform to stereotypes that they might have been born in the wrong body.
No, we're not telling them anything, I don't believe. And they may... No, stereotypes aren't there. It's not about stereotypes. It takes a very, very fragile, sanctimonious, over-controlling subset of society to try and deny people urgent medical care.
So what is it that makes a girl a boy?
I don't think that's a valid question.
Well, if girls are coming to believe that they're really boys, what is it that makes them a boy?
Well, there's biological indicators, but it's not foolproof.
Oh, there's a biological indicator to transgenderism?
But then again...
What's the biological indicator to transgenderism?
But then again, in the West, we've always recognised traditionally two genders. But that's, as we all know...
Yeah, I recognise two sexes and zero genders.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. I like that little laneway.
Yeah.
But that's not true for other societies.
Oh, okay.
Other societies have a richer, deeper culture, where there's less gender dysmorphia. Because
so what is a transgender child?
Because people are recognised.
What is a transgender child?
I'm going to leave it to your soapbox. But thank you, it's been a pleasure.
So you can't answer any of these questions.
No, because you've been asking to...
Kids are being turned into lifelong pharmaceutical patients, being sterilized, and they're getting their breasts cut off.
No, they're not.
And you can't tell me one thing about any of this.
You're trying to actually lure me into a laneway, in a little sort of ideological laneway. That's a safe place for you to speak.
So if a girl thinks she's a boy, what is it that makes her a boy?
You're trying to lure me into a little laneway. That's a safe space for you to sort of repeat your narrative and to try and hijack the conversation.
I don't need safe spaces. That's for the left.
Well, no, it is. It is because you're weak. I mean, you're ideologically weak. I mean,
you're the one that can't tell me a single thing about your ideology.
I won't.
I'm asking you to define for me what a transgender child is. Define for me what gender identity is.
I'm not going to dance and clap to your prompts because I've thrown you direct things.
This is your opportunity to educate 1 million people right now about transgenderism. So you go ahead and tell them what it is that makes a girl a boy.
I can't even educate you about halitosis, about the fact you need a breath mint.
Okay.
I've answered your questions. I've deliberately walked up to you because you're being very provocative. So I've had conversations with you.
Provocative. Children cannot consent to puberty blockers. Bye-bye. Some people don't have opinions. They have pre-programmed slogans. He wasn't debating, he was reciting. He didn't come to defend children. He came to defend an ideology he doesn't even understand. That's the tragedy. Entire movements run on people who can't explain what they believe. This time, the kind of logic that makes the woke side sweat.
We don't let children drink. We don't let them drive an automobile because they have bad judgment. They are flooded with hormones. Their brains are still in formation. Their sexuality is still in formation. Allow them to make judgments about that are going to have life-changing, forever implications for the rest of their life at that age is unconscionable, particularly in light of the Cass report.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Let me ask you a question about NIH research, if I may. I know this is something that you care a lot about. Under the first Trump presidency...
I do want to add that people who have gender differences should be respected. They should be loved. But loving them does not sometimes love means saying no to people.
They call it gender affirmation, but it's really adult confusion repackaged for kids. Mr. Kennedy reminds them that childhood isn't a science experiment, but the activists can't tell the difference between guidance and oppression. And here's another scene straight out of the Tolerance for Me, Not for Thee playbook.
Thank you to the 6 members that voted to go back to the 2020 interpretation of Title IX. And shame on the 1 board member that voted no.
I'm sorry, but negative comments will not be allowed.
Most of you have heard by now that I have started a petition that Augusta concerned parents, both Republican and Democrat, are signing. This petition is asking if you, the school board members, will put up a vote to have Miss Kim.
I'm sorry, that's not going to be tolerated.
She's also a public...
I'm sorry, it will not be tolerated. Once more, and you're off the podium.
So, as most of you know, someone is the president of the Maine Principal Association.
Nope, close enough. I'm sorry. You're done, Mr. Blanchard. You're done, Mr. Blanchard.
What? How is...
Done, Mr. Blanchard.
Wow. Communist China right here.
A dad calmly questions the local gender policy, and suddenly the free speech champions start hitting mute like it's a game show buzzer. Nothing exposes progressive values faster than an opinion they can't control. The board wanted respect, but what they got was a reality check wrapped in a MAGA hat. This time, we've got the speech police pretending to protect order while silencing anyone with a spine.
My constitutional rights. Go ahead.
Mr. Hubbard, would you say something specific about the book so that we can let you continue speaking rather than making these generalities?
Can I get there?
Fast, really fast.
No, there's no fast.
I'm saying fast.
Speak.
Excuse me?
You don't tell me how to speak.
Well, yeah, I am telling you. I'm telling you how to speak in this situation. Yeah.
And give me my 5
Point of order.
I'd like to propose a recess.
Sit down, please.
I'd like to propose a recess.
No, don't interrupt me. This is my constitution.
They claim to value every voice, but only if it reads from their script. The moment a parent talks about rights, they start twitching, like someone mentioned common sense. Nothing scares the woke gatekeepers more than a calm man who refuses to ask permission to speak. Here's where the trust the system crowd suddenly forgets what accountability means.
In a vote to allow trans students to use whatever bathroom they wish, you assured us that these policies were perfectly safe, as neither yourself nor law enforcement could provide a single example of any trans student assaulting any girl in any bathroom, in any school, in any state, anywhere at all. But not to worry, since you couldn't locate them, I took the trouble to. See, Loudoun County, Virginia, where last year, under district policy, a trans student was allowed into the women's bathroom where he assaulted a girl. To cover it up, they moved him to another school where he did it again. See Irvine, California last month, where a trans student entered the women's locker room and flashed the girls there. When they confronted him, he mercilessly beat them. This happened again in Gwinnett County, Georgia. This happened again in Oklahoma City. This happened again in Ohio. It should also be noted that in each of these cases, each of these perpetrators had either changed their pronouns, had undergone transition, or had received gender-affirming therapy.
A father calmly lays out proof, and the woke defenders of safe spaces start sweating like logic is a hate crime. They called it progress until facts showed up wearing work boots. Every word from him was a reminder that feelings don't change biology, and denial doesn't count as data. Get ready to witness Karen Shaw, the self-proclaimed peace marshal, in full professional protest mode.
Right now, I'm representing myself, and I'm representing the folks at Rise and Resist who have been trained
Rise
to
and
be
Resist.
marshals.
How much do they pay you to wear this vest?
Absolutely nothing.
Really?
So I did some digging, and the woman trying to stop my interview is named Karen Shaw. She is a professional protester. I found her at almost 100 different protests. Let's look at her portfolio, shall we? Here's her outside Trump Tower saying TikTok time's up. Here's her saying ban guns, not drag. Amazing. This is her telling us that lies have consequences. She is also very passionate about abortion. Even in the video right now, she's just wearing a hat that says abortion on it. Sometimes she gets less creative though and just holds a sign that says enough. Now here I found her working with a different professional protester that I've exposed. This is Stuart Waldman. He was there when they raised the Palestinian flag over City Hall in Rhode Island.
Everyone knows you.
Everyone knows me?
They know who you are. They know what you do.
I know what you do as well, Stuart Waldman. You are on the board of RiseAndResist.org, the company that is paying people like Karen for a second job as a professional protester. And the donation link to give you money is just Act Blue, which is the fundraising platform for the Democrat Party. That's who you are, Stuart Waldman. Now back to Karen. I found her with another professional protester that I've exposed. This was back at the Tesla protest. This is just a few photos of this other professional protester out of maybe 50 that I found.
She proudly claims she's not paid, yet somehow manages to show up at every protest from gun bans to Trump rants like it's her full-time job. Then comes the real MVP, the guy who actually does his homework and exposes her entire activist resume. Turns out spontaneous protest is just another day at the office for Karen. Finally, here is peak woke confusion as a young guy in the audience thinks he just cracked the code of history by asking, "Why don't you think we deserve reparation?"
Like, why don't you think we deserve reparations? I mean, you did get a check for a racist act back when you were in high school.
Okay, so first off, these are two different points. I do not think that we deserve reparations for slavery. I was never a slave in this country, and I think that the idea, if you think that you're going to get more than $200 from the government, okay, this entire debate is just it's a
He throws it at Candace Owens like he's some intellectual hero, while she sits there effortlessly dismantling his logic. Owens points out that she was never a slave and hints that anyone expecting hundreds of dollars from the government clearly missed reality class.
Democrats seek reparations. National apology for slavery. We are moving closer. You know what I think about reparations? I don't really think it's about the money. It's about continuing the victimhood within black people. I'm convinced that the Democrats are set on continuing to hold black people down. I was listening to a clip from T.I. and another rapper, and this is what they said, and I don't know why black people agree with them, but it was the dumbest thing ever. They go, T.I., the rapper T.I., go look him up. Go look at one of his songs. Look at the lyrics, and it'll put what I'm saying in the context. And it was another rapper, I forget who it was, and they get on here, and they say, see, they don't want a black man to speak truth. If we ain't talking about killing each other, they don't want a black man. It's like, wait a minute. Quit saying they. White folks ain't worried about you. You don't want to say the right thing. You don't want to do right by black people. Y'all the ones rapping about selling dope and killing and stealing and thugging. What you mean the white man? The white man just paying you to do what you want to do. Then if the white man wouldn't let you rap about killing and stealing and thugging, you'll be saying the white man is suppressing your freedom of speech. These black men that are adults, they got money. They're still mentally immature. It's bizarre to me how a black man can look in the mirror and look at himself and say, I'm...
Then Brandon Tatum takes over, calmly pointing out that reparations are really about keeping people in victim mode. He highlights the absurdity of blaming others for choices you literally make yourself, all while staying composed, rifle in hand, letting the nonsense self-destruct on its own. Here, a female host asks the most basic question on Earth, and the activist responds with, biology is misinformation.
Why should I, as a female, be forced to get changed in front of a male?
Well, nobody's making you do that.
Yes, you do. There's cases going through the courts at the moment. I can think of one such case in the NHS where some nurses are taking action because they were forced to share a gender-neutral changing room where there was what you call a trans woman, i.e. a biological male, using those facilities. So yeah, it actually does happen.
Trans men are men men, trans women are women. Do you think that trans people exist? Like,
I think that what you call a transgender woman absolutely exists. I don't think it's a figment of your imagination, but I think that they're categorically, biologically male. So therefore, they cannot and should not be able to access female-only spaces. Lots of women like me do not want to have to get dressed and all the rest of it in front of biological men.
The activists' entire argument was basically, it's not happening, and even if it is, you're not allowed to call it what it is. That's the new strategy. Deny the biology, deny the boundaries, and shame any woman who dares to say she's uncomfortable. Then the mayor of San Francisco visits a trans event and learns he's literally not woke enough for the people he funds.
I just want to point out that it's Trans March, and the mayor's talking with the cis dude. You're not wanted here.
You're not wanted here. Here! How dare you come here?
How dare you come here? How dare you come here? How dare you come here? How dare you come here?
You suck! Larry sucks!
Hey, you're going the wrong way. Gary Tan's house is that way. Gary Tan lives that way. You're going the wrong way. He's your ally. That's your people. These are not your people. Do something. Do something for trans people. Hang the trans flag at City Hall. Do not come here and pretend to be an ally when you are not. You are harming queer people.
Well, we know that.
Boo! There we go. You are harming queer people.
You will never be welcome here.
You are not welcome.
San Francisco literally gives them unlimited money, policy changes, legal protection, and police tolerance, and they still scream that the mayor isn't doing enough. Activism stopped being about change a long time ago. Now it's about raising the standards of obedience forever, so nobody is ever pure enough. And here we have a classic moment where woke confidence meets actual comprehension.
And let me tell you something as a black woman. I do not need a white man to tell me that my life matters. You hear what I'm saying? I know that I'm fabulous. I know that my life matters. You don't have the right to tell me my life matters. I don't need your privilege to tell me or to justify who I am in America. This is my country. This is my land. My ancestors built this country. So I'm going to walk around here as bold as I want to. And I don't have to have you to co-sign and tell me my life matters. That right there insinuates that you think your voice is bigger and better than mine. Yes, it does. You can disagree. You can disagree. But you are supporting an organization that does not like black men. And as a black woman, I can tell you how important black men are to the black family. Without them, we are nothing. So when you support an organization that doesn't push them up the way we need them to be, you ain't shit. And you can take that from Shamika Michelle and post it wherever you like.
Shamika Michelle struts in, declaring she doesn't need anyone's validation, while the young man with the BLM sign just stands there, like his brain hit pause. She tears apart the very organization she supposedly supports, lectures on black men, and ends with a mic-dropping finale. Now, here is a clip where a couple accidentally turn a casual interview into a total roast of woke culture.
If you could eliminate one thing from the world, what would you eliminate?
Narcissists?
Toxic feminism.
The girl kicks things off strong, saying she'd eliminate narcissists, already a solid hit on woke victimhood culture. But then the guy next to her casually drops toxic feminism, and it's game over for the woke agenda. This time, we got another masterclass in yelling your way into irrelevance.
just need to respect women, period.
So you should respect women.
I'm sorry, I am a woman, so if you don't think so, I don't really have time for this. And I don't have time.
My mistake.
You're going to let me speak because here's my truth. I've been raped 4 times. I've known women that have been raped multiple times gruesomely. And how sit up here and try to say that women aren't worth respect.
Say that.
I am a woman. I just became a woman. It's just like, are you kidding me? People don't even respect me, period. And I'm already black, so it's just like, yeah, that already goes against me anyways. But still, you piece of living garbage. Trash gum on the bottom of my shoe. Oh my God, I wish I had a tissue for the blood. I would.
Might I suggest it's your behavior, not because you're black or a woman.
I'm sorry. Can I stop here? Can I stop here, please?
The protester storms up, waving her hands like she's auditioning for a Broadway role, screaming about respect, trauma, and identity like volume equals logic. Crowder, cool as a cucumber, sits back, nods, and calmly points out it's her behavior, not her gender or race. That's the problem. Up next, a professional virtue signaler takes the mic and mistakes sarcasm for moral depth.
And we have one speaker, Mr. Walter Masterson. Mr. Masters.
A more, woke school board would see the death of a child and work to make sure it never happens again. Not this board. This board sees a dead kid and says, that's a good start because this school board signed up to protect all children. And by all children, they mean these children, not so much these children. Hate us if you want, but we're the good guys. We want to let kids be kids, and there's nothing more unnatural than a teenager experimenting with their identity. It has never happened before and should be punished. We're the good guys. We'll spit on a kid's grave, blame the parents, and tell our teenagers to hit them harder. We're the good guys. When we heard that a trans child had been beaten to death, our state senator, Tom Woods, immediately released a statement. We don't want that filth in Oklahoma. We can call children filth, even the dead ones, because we're the good guys. And if we're wrong, if God doesn't want us driving off the lepers and deviants and worshiping the bankers, if our God doesn't want us casting the first stone, if our God doesn't want us loving people despite their differences, well, if we're wrong, then I guess I'll see you all in hell.
He delivers his speech, dripping with that classic woke arrogance, the kind that confuses mockery with meaning. Every line is another performance, another audition for online applause, as if hashtags could replace actual empathy. And finally, here's what happens when college activism eats basic decency for breakfast.
Who's he mocking? He can't say his name. He's not good enough. I want y'all to say his name. This is a college kid. Well, he was a college kid mocking the death of an innocent man, a father, a husband, a believer in God. We're supposed to tolerate these insufferable people. We're supposed to love our enemy. I'm sorry, I can't do that right now. And this isn't about color. This is about good and evil. And I'll say it. I believe there are far more evil people on the left. I don't care anymore.
The woke crowd cheers on expression until someone actually expresses morals. Then it's chaos. A father calls out the nonsense, and suddenly truth becomes hate speech. Because in woke land, feelings are facts and accountability is oppression. Next up, the woke brigade trying to brand secrecy as compassion while parents are kept in the dark.
We are grooming our children to be tools for maps for minor attracted persons.
What are some of the most heinous things that you've seen going on in the schools today that you've been dealing with the school boards?
Through these new transgender policies, they are creating environments where they keep secrets from the parents. A child can socially transition at school. They can leave home knowing that they're Megan. get to school and their new name is Michael. And the teachers will affirm them to be a boy, but never tell their parents. And they don't have to by law. They are creating environments and atmospheres that will lead to pedophilia. Pedophilia stems from secrecy. And some person being able to touch you, fondle you, misuse you, and abuse you, and you think that you can't tell what happened because that person might harm you, or they may lie and say that no, it's not true, and then shame you. All of these things are forged when there's an environment of secrecy. Many of these people are Marxist atheists. They are perverts. They are grooming our children to be tools for maps for minor attracted persons. These people are vicious and they must be called out.
They call it affirmation, but it looks a lot more like indoctrination with a smile. The father isn't fooled, and neither is anyone tired of watching schools act like therapy clinics. The moment truth shows up, their buzzwords pack up and leave. Here we go again, another school board meeting where progress means making kids pretend they're gay for a grade.
All right, well, thank you guys for having me. I am here to talk about an assignment that was showed into my daughter's classroom. I'm going to read the assignment. I do have a picture, but that's, neither here nor there. It says, stand in a circle. Each of you is now gay or lesbian, and you're about to begin your coming out process. You cannot talk for the rest of this activity. I don't see how this is part of the California curriculum for education. There's nothing that it does other than groom children. It's not okay, it's disgusting, and it should not be allowed. I was told by the vice principal of Rancho the first time I called that it was not part of the curriculum. I then emailed Dr. Villarreal. He emailed me back saying, oh no, this is definitely part of the curriculum, this specific activity. Then he had one of his other vice principals call me to confirm that it was really part of this curriculum. I have tried to get into contact with Dr. Villarreal over the phone about 8 times, and just failed every single time. He has not reached out to me himself personally, other than the first email contact that we had. I've reached out to Dr. Matt Doyle. I do understand that we will be having a meeting between January 6th and the 13th, I believe. So there is that. I don't think that this assignment should ever be taught to any children. It does not do anything other than groom them. Should not be allowed. Anybody who teaches this should be fired immediately. That's all I have to say about it.
Okay, thank you. Just so that you know, if you've not spoken before, we can't respond from the dais.
I understand.
Okay, thank you.
The father isn't angry. He's just the only adult left in the room, brave enough to say, maybe this isn't math. The man reads their own lesson out loud, and suddenly, tolerance turns into stage fright. The same educators who preach be your authentic self can't handle hearing their own assignment in public. Next up, the school board meeting that proves woke professionalism is just arrogance in a suit.
You're done jerking each other off with a bunch of trophies and participation certificates. Here's the truth. You guys don't care about the disabled kids because my disabled son was deaf. You put him in with a bunch of disruptive kids. There was no sign language interpreter, no instruction for sign language. He came home crying from Bester Elementary School every single day he went there because he got into fights with kids who didn't understand him because he was deaf. He couldn't talk. He couldn't sign. You guys left him there. No child left behind. You didn't want to give up the funding you get from state, federal, and local, so you didn't allow him to get transferred until I came in and went psychotic.
Mr. Porter, would you please refrain from using profanity?
You worthless cunt.
Okay.
You tortured my disabled son, and you will answer for it in a court of law. People like you hamstring their abilities to teach children like mine. You're a disgrace.
They preach tolerance until someone challenges their agenda, then suddenly words hurt more than actions. These are the same people who will write essays on empathy but can't handle a father's anger. When real accountability walks in, their moral superiority packs up and hides behind policy. Here's a prime example of woke confidence crashing spectacularly.
Everyone knows you.
Everyone knows me?
They know who you are. They know what you do.
The girl comes in full throttle, preaching about listening to minorities and educating the masses like she's delivering the State of the Union. Then one simple question hits, and suddenly her brain goes on vacation. She's frozen, looking around like someone will save her, while her fellows enjoy the meltdown. Next up, we've got a protester who showed up ready to speak truth to power, but forgot to bring the truth part.
Why are you protesting?
How much time do you have?
A couple minutes. And what's the main reason you're out here protesting President Trump?
I agree with a lot of the decisions that are being made.
Is there any decision in particular you disagree with?
Okay, so I would start with, well, I don't even think it's appropriate for me to have this interview.
She's holding a sign, shouting slogans, and then boom, the microphone turns into her worst nightmare. One simple question, and suddenly it's buffering in real life. The silence hits harder than logic, and by the end, even she knows the protest signs have more substance than her argument. Then, we got a woke meltdown in full rainbow mode that turned a pride festival into a full-on circus.
The Bible says in John 3:16, you can't get physical with me. Hey. You can't take our stuff. Hey, this is assault, man.
You're going to hell, even you, baby.
Take your hands off, man.
You get your kicked.
What you're doing is illegal right now.
I don't give a shit.
Go.
Can you please back off? Take your hands off me, bro.
Get your hand off her. You need
I'm
to
defending myself from this being on. Jesus,
You're such a fucking loser!
I don't know if you've been church hurt.
time that I've heard this?
I don't think you've actually heard the truth. God loves you. He cares about you. That's why I'm here.
Human race traitor!
Where is hate coming from?
You!
Jesus Christ. He cares about you all. And he took the punishment for our sin.
Yeah, he took the punishment from
Yeah. You would definitely see. Stop throwing water on me.
Let's see if that protects you
now.
now. And I told you if you did that, what would I do?
Take your hands off. Hey.
Everyone is flailing with rainbow fans, yelling random threats, and performing accidental gymnastics to the preacher. And the whole scene becomes a masterclass in how chaos, bad logic, and overacting make a very entertaining mess. Hold on to your signs because this protest star thinks shouting and abusing older men counts as activism.
Don't touch me! Touch years, read it!
That's right.
3 more years, young lady!
That's right.
What that
says? What that says?
You can't do shit! How many people did Obama detain? How many people did Obama detain? A lot,
Exactly.
But you only care about Trump, right? Were you out here when Obama detained 3 million people? Did you come out here when Obama
What citizen has been deported? What U.S. citizen has been deported?
So many of them.
Give me one.
Why do I have to name them?
Because you don't know what the fuck. Thank you. You don't know. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Touch me. Don't touch me. You see? There you go. The range liberal.
An older man calmly calls out, 4 more years, young lady, while another off-camera agrees. She flails, shouts, and acts defiant, but when asked to name a single detained citizen, she freezes and admits she doesn't know, exposing the weak logic behind her protest. Next, a MAGA dude walks into Trans Visibility Day. They applauded him right up until they realized he wasn't on their payroll.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here in Dallas, Texas, celebrating Trans Day of Visibility. Let's have a good time. Yes! What is going on?
All children can get transgender reassignment surgery!
Yourself! Man, transgenderism and it's effective!
Look at this! You want to fight? You want to fight? Yeah, I'm so scared. Look at these transgenders! Oh, what are you gonna do? Get the hey, they're just hitting us. No, telling you to leave. Let go. These are a bunch of transgenders. They want to cut off children's penises. These are sick losers. Your parents are ashamed of you. Yeah, your parents are ashamed of you. You guys are all losers.
This shows how tolerance works in 2025. They love you as long as you agree with them. The moment you show even a molecule of dissent, they flip instantly from love is love to get out. Their acceptance isn't a principle, it's a conditional membership contract. In this clip, trans activists surround a mom and her kid, and the White House actually condemned it.
Trans activists surrounded a mother and her child on their way to a Christian event. The woman, alongside her partner and 2 other kids, tried to move through the crowd as tensions exploded. Police stepped in to shield the family as the crowd closed in. Despite police presence, scuffles broke out and streets were shut down for hours. The White House Faith Office issued a rare rebuke pointing that free speech and religious freedom is protected by federal law. Full protest turned flashpoint with families and faith in the crossfire.
When your movement has to physically surround a mother and child to feel powerful, you've already lost the moral argument. You don't protect community by terrorizing families in public. This isn't activism. This is ideological bullying with rainbow branding slapped on top. In this one, a trans activist screams, "Why won't you love us?" at a stranger.
You want to learn what Jesus said? Love your neighbor as yourself! Why do you not love trans and queer people as their authentic selves?
Okay.
So why don't you love us as our authentic self?
I don't know if you're looking for answers, so I can't hear one.
Take a couple steps back. You guys can talk about it, but just take a couple steps back and bring it down a couple notches.
I don't think I want to talk to you. I'm looking for an answer.
I'm wondering if you had an answer. You don't have one because you don't believe in our true existence. And if you don't believe in the existence of people with pride, stay the hell away from them. Learn to be ignorant.
Keep walking.
But look at the one who's angry, right?
Of course I'm angry because I can't get health care. I can't get housing. I can't get an interview, let alone a job.
So that's what
because you're literally making it illegal for me to exist.
This is the twisted irony. They scream "love us" while acting completely unlovable. Respect isn't something you can force out of someone by yelling at them in public. If your identity requires volume, threats, and police intervention to be validated, maybe the problem isn't the other person. And this one perfectly sums up what happens when ideology starts parenting your kids for you.
The state of California says that I have to pay for the chemical and physical castration of my son as child support. Started when my son was about 2 years old. My ex-wife, who's a pediatrician, started thinking that he might be a girl and started trying to transition him to a girl. When I tried to put a stop to that, she filed for divorce and used her relationships with care providers to force me out of my house. She would put him into timeout and say, "Don't be a boy. The monsters only eat boys." Weird things like this. James never presented as a girl with anyone but his mom. At church, with me, with his friends, he dressed as a boy and called himself James. I asked him one time, "Why are you doing that?" He just flat out told me, he said, "Well, mommy doesn't love me if I'm not a girl."
The woke crowd calls it gender affirmation, but it's really just adults playing politics with a child's identity. The father speaks truth, and suddenly compassion looks a lot like control. They say it's love, but it sounds more like loyalty to a movement. Up next, another father walks into the lion's den of tolerance, armed with nothing but logic and the audacity to use it.
Is that how we're to act? We're going to let boys in the bathrooms? I want to ask all the fathers up here to claim to love their daughters. Would you be okay if someone up here started getting naked in front of your daughter? No, yes they are. If they go in the bathroom, they will get in front of your daughter. You are a liar.
Hey, folks.
Okay?
We're not doing this.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
We're not doing the back and forth.
These men, these boys, these biological boys, you're going to allow them to go in and get naked in front of our kids? Are we that gone now? Where does this stop, guys? Where does this plateau? Next thing you know, we're going to be okaying pedophilia? We're already letting kids pretend to be furries. We are letting kids be furries. Silence.
Folks,
I request
stop,
your silence.
please.
I don't care. Offensive? You know what? It's funny. All your shirts all say humble, kind, love everyone, but you don't love me right now, do ya? That's right.
Sir.
That's
hey,
right.
Folks,
So,
hey.
Listen, there is no evidence. We are doing all this.
Sir, give me a second.
Okay.
You're here to address the board. You're not here to address the audience.
Right. Well, I kind of got called into it,
No,
so I apologize
no.
to you. So let me address you so I don't lose any
And
more
folks
time.
out there, please let him say his piece. You're entitled to the same.
The progressive panel, draped in slogans about kindness, suddenly looks offended by reality itself. They chant about love while glaring at the one person actually defending his child.
This is not a back and forth debate.
We're
here
doing
to
a
hear
lot
your
of this, right? Because we don't want teen suicides. We want to prevent teen suicides. We're trying to accommodate these children. I want it to be a dinosaur, man. Listen, let these kids get 18. Let them grow up. And at 18, let them decide what they want to be. More power to you. But don't twist and manipulate their mind when they are impressionable. Leave our kids alone. Please. Leave them alone. There is no study, not one that's ever been done, that WPATH, W-P-A-T-H, World Professional Association of Transgender Health, set out to do a study about suicide. And did you know they could find no conclusive evidence that letting your child transition will save their life? Not one study. We are going down a path of irreversible evil and harm. We are accepting evil in 2025. This is sick. All these men getting up here speaking today, they don't have the courage to look at their kids and say, hey, I love you and I'm going to support you, but you're a boy or you're a girl. You were born in God's image. That's what men should do. That's what real men do. That's what real men of courage do.
Each sentence from him hits harder than their buzzwords, peeling away the layers of virtue signaling until only hypocrisy remains. And as the applause breaks through the noise, you can almost hear the ideology crack. Next up, Trans Day of Vengeance, because nothing says we're the victims like filming yourself threatening retaliation.
They have been promoting this narrative that we've been indoctrinating others. We don't deserve to be murdered. We don't deserve to be put in a position where we're unaliving ourselves. We deserve to live our lives happily and in peace. Please join us for Trans Day of Vengeance. Much love to you all. Please stay safe.
I'm not condoning the violence, but I understand it. And it's hard for me to have sympathy for what happened, because at the end of the day, you reap what you sow. People like you, this is your fault. All of it.
To stick together more than ever now. We don't need thoughts and prayers. We need action. Revolution. We're here. We're queer. We're not going anywhere. Deal with it.
It's amazing how fast Be Kind turns into We Want Vengeance when the mask slips. This is what happens when you build your entire worldview on victimhood. Eventually, the only solution becomes punishment. And that's not equality. That's fanaticism dressed in rainbow branding. A dramatic trans woman attacks two biological women, then roleplays the victim because in 2025, victimhood is a competitive sport.
Spitting.
I spat on the ground because you hit me with your body.
I called 911. Okay.
Don't you dare.
Thank you.
Don't you dare, you white woman.
Okay, I'm Puerto Rican.
She hit me.
Okay.
She assaulted me, and she's recording me.
And what you're doing right now makes that okay.
Mind your business.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
No, you don't.
Of course.
No, you don't. You're a fake ally. You're a fake liberal. You're a hypocrite, and I feel sorry for your trans friends. I feel sorry for your trans friends. And I feel sorry for your queer friends because you're a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what you are. You're a snake.
Do you know my identification?
You're all snakes.
Do you know my current identification?
I don't give a.
So how do you know any of this information
You're a
about
cis
me?
woman. You're an AFAB non-binary.
Do you know that?
Bitch.
Do you know that?
You're an AFAB non-binary.
Do you know that?
Do you live in Bushwick?
Do you know that?
Do you live in Bushwick, Henny? Go ahead. This is gonna blow up on TikTok. I already have a social media following. You think I care? They love this. I'm a based psycho tranny, and you're a hypocrite. You're a liberal hypocrite.
The choice of words used in psycho
You hit me
and
on
the identification.
You hit me with your body on the sidewalk. You liberal
the word choice
hypocrite.
Of identifying as a psycho.
You assaulted me. So where are the cops, huh? Where are the cops when the black woman calls the cops on the trans woman?
This is the new formula. Attack like a bully, then collapse into victim mode the moment someone pushes back. It's emotional manipulation disguised as identity. They weaponize fragility. They use pain as a shield for bad behavior. It's narcissism with a social justice coat of paint. This activist does an interview against Trump until she gets a real question, tries stealing the mic, misses, and rage quits the conversation.
One of his policies pertaining to this have been very clearly anti-American. But how do you feel that he's appointed the first openly gay man in his cabinet, and he actually appointed him again in this administration? Grab my property. Hey, don't grab my property. What are you doing? What are you doing? You don't do that. Officer, what are you doing?
The instant this activist had to defend her own words, she defaulted to physical aggression and escape. That's the problem. They're great at lecturing, horrible at thinking. If your worldview collapses every time someone asks why, maybe it wasn't a worldview, just a slogan. And finally, a trans activist screams, "Shut the fuck up," then demands respect, which is basically the customer service model of this entire ideology.
LGBT. These are radical Christians in there that are housing neo-Nazis.
Right, but
you're defending. God, you're so fucking stupid.
They don't push gays off the top.
Are
of
you
buildings for being
kidding?
gay.
Shut the up,
they
you
don't.
bigot. Shut the up. You don't want to learn.
He needs to learn how to communicate like you. Oh, are you gonna threaten me?
Did you misgender her? Did you misgender her?
Apparently.
This is the tactic every time. Scream profanity, shut down the conversation, then accuse the other person of not wanting to learn. It's a projection. They don't want dialogue, they want obedience. If your entire argument is volume and victimhood, you never had a point. And there you have it. Another compilation where ideology tried to replace reality, and reality wasn't having it. If you like this breakdown, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe, because trust me, this circus isn't slowing down.